Candy.
Always check your bag after trick-or-treating, because you might find something you don't like.
Like a razor blade.
Yep, because we found one last year.
And you know what we did?
We returned it.
Why?
Because we work hard to collect candy. And at the end of the night, I expect nothing but candy.
So we returned it.
And asked for candy.
Someone gave me a razor blade last year too.
And what did you do?
I returned it and asked for candy.
And what did he give you?
He said he had a lollipop for me in his pants.
What?
Yeah, but I couldn't take it home.
To make the world a place that's worthy of your face, to show you what's inside the magic that is in.
A pleasant expression on his face as he joined the end of the queue for the coffee machine. The line was going nowhere, and he looked impatiently to the front to see a temp who obviously had no idea how the bloody machine worked, fumbling with the reject button. Geoffrey rolled his eyes and muttered under his breath, "Oh, for fuck's sake." The girl in front of him turned around. "Oh, hi, Jeff." It was Sarah White. Geoffrey had fucked her at last year's office Christmas party, an act which he had later regretted. "Oh, hi," he said, looking back to the front of the line. "I hear you had a heart attack." "That's right." "Yes." "And they brought you back?" He looked at her. "Obviously." She smiled. "Pity." "Oh, leave it out, won't you, Sarah? I'm trying to be a better person, and right now you're making that very difficult." She laughed. "You? A better person?" The eyes of numerous temps turned discreetly in their direction. "How do you plan on doing that?" Geoffrey spoke through gritted teeth. "By minding my own chuffing business, for one." Sarah came close to him and spoke in a confidential tone. "You didn't used to want to mind your own business, Jeff. You used to like to mind mine." Perhaps once. Geoffrey was taller than Sarah, and he looked over her head to the coffee machine, where the temp had now been joined by some other clueless dolt who was giving the machine an ineffectual beating. But not any more. "Oh, come on, Jeff. It's not like your wife's still around. Why not take me out for a drink sometime?" "Thank you, Sarah, but I'd rather not." "Oh?" Sarah deftly cupped his genitals and gave them a friendly squeeze. "Don't tell me you don't miss me." "Get away from me, you whore!" Geoffrey struck out, shoving her back with both hands. Sarah fell stumbling into the backs of people ahead of her in the line, causing them to fall in all directions. One man fell onto a table, and a yogurt carton ruptured all over his shirt. "Jesus Christ, Geoffrey!" Sarah shouted from where she now sat on the floor. "You fucking lunatic!" "Yeah!" said another man who had stumbled in the queue. His shirt was tight, accentuating a muscular physique. "What the fuck do you think you're playing at, mate?" I'm sorry," said Geoffrey, raising his hands before him. "I'm just trying to be a good person." "Well, you're going a funny way about it, you fucking idiot." "He's fucking crazy," said Sarah. No." Geoffrey offered her his hand. "No, I'm not crazy. I'm sorry, Sarah. As Sarah's hand closed about his, the room seemed to suddenly slow down and stop. All around, the angry scene stood frozen, as if some higher power had pushed a reality pause button that only Geoffrey seemed unaffected by. Then he felt Sarah's grip tightening on his hand, a fierce, burning grip. He looked down and saw that the hand that held his was no longer Sarah's. Then he screamed as his hand burst into flames. He looked up to see Sarah's face beginning to liquefy like that of a waxwork under a blowtorch. Her smile widened impossibly, revealing row upon row of small, pointy teeth. It widened still, splitting her cheeks. Blood and fatty tissue crackled and spat as the shell of her face fell apart to reveal another face growing within. It was Clive. "Hello, Leech." Sarah's body disintegrated, and her hippie chic clothes fell away in burning rags as Clive grew to his full size. "What's all this nonsense about being a better person, then?" Geoffrey fell to his knees before the demon, watching in horror as the flesh of his arm began to burn. "Oh no! Master, please! I never meant..." "Never meant what, wretch? To seek the counsel of a priest? To shit on the trust of the Lord Satan?" A scorching heat radiated from Clive, and all around him office workers began to blister and smoke. "Did you honestly think that you could ever get away from your bond to the Prince of Darkness?" Geoffrey screamed as the fire began to spread to his body. "You have no life of your own, Leech. Lest you forget, your very existence is a gift from Satan. A gift given solely on condition that you fulfill his mission." In his mind, Geoffrey saw again the face of the man he had to kill. He knew his name and his address, saw his house and the faces of his family, and then, like a death knell, heard the words he must speak when he took the man's life. "Hallelujah! I am your salvation. Hallelujah! I am your salvation. Salvation." They echoed through his mind, over and over, discordant and drowning out all other thought. Geoffrey screamed in a hopeless effort to smother them. "Yes, Master! I'll do it! I'll do it!" Fire consumed all his flesh now, and yet, despite the fact that his eyes were sizzling in his head, he could still see perfectly well. He watched as Clive's horned head loomed in close, while all around office workers blazed and melted in the inferno. "Good." Clive grasped Geoffrey's head with both hands. "Because if you continue to fuck around with silly notions of being saved by God, you're going to be really fucking sorry. Do you understand? You're dead, and your worthless fucking stinkhole belongs forever in hell." Geoffrey screamed as perdition's flames rose around him. He couldn't escape. He could never escape. He nodded and felt the skin of his face come away in Clive's hands. "Good." Clive opened his mouth and dropped the burning skin inside. He smiled. "Yummy." He chewed for a moment before looking distastefully at his hands. "Oh dear. Do you have a napkin, Leech? I seem to have you all over my fingers." Geoffrey collapsed, his hands over his face, screaming and rolling from side to side. "See, he's fucking crazy," said Sarah. "It's like he thinks he's on fire or something." "Maybe he's having a fit," said the muscle man. "Quick, get something to put between his teeth in case he tries to swallow his tongue." "Chance to be a fine thing," said Sarah. She took advantage of the general hubbub now surrounding Geoffrey to go to the front of the now disordered coffee machine queue. She gave the top of the machine a hefty shove, and a little light came on, indicating the machine's readiness. She dropped her coin in and selected a hot chocolate. Bloke's a fucking mental case.